You're standing in the supermarket parking lot, and it happens again. The handle tears, the bottom gives way, and your groceries roll across the pavement for the whole world to see. You stuff that crumpled paper bag into the trash at home or flatten it for the recycling bin, and you never think about it again. Well, I want you to stop and think about this for a minute, because that bag you just threw away is a potato patch. It's a free grow bag that the garden centers sell for $10 under another name. And by the end of summer, it will hand you back a harvest and then melt into your soil like it was never there. When I was a boy, nothing on our farm that could hold soil ever went to waste. Feed sacks, flour sacks, seed bags. My grandmother grew green onions in a torn oats sack on the back porch for 20 years. And when one sack rotted, it went into the garden bed and another took its place. I asked her once why she didn't just buy a proper pot. She looked at me the way grandmothers do and said, "The sack was already paid for, Jacob. The pot isn't." I thought she was being frugal. It took me 40 years to understand she was being right. Let me tell you who I am. My name is Jacob Miller. I'm an Amish farmer out in the Holmes County settlement here in Ohio, and my wife is Rebecca. We don't get many supermarket paper bags in our life, but we get sacks, feed sacks, seed sacks, and the way is the same way. And I'll be honest with you about that title straight off, the way I always am. The paper grocery bag itself is new, but the way is old, older than the stores. Growing in what you already have, wasting nothing, letting the container return to the soil when its work is done, that's the old Amish way. And the bag is just its newest suit of clothes. Let me show you the whole of it, from sack to supper. Before we get into it, if you like learning the old ways of doing things, do two small things for me. Tap that like button down there. It helps this little channel more than you'd ever guess. And subscribe so you can keep learning right alongside Rebecca and me. That's all I'll ask of you, friend. Now, the paper bag potato patch, from sack to supper, start to finish. Here's how it will go. First, the bags themselves and the one thing you must do to them before anything else. Then the fill, the seed potatoes, the little trick with the trays underneath that keeps them drinking through a heat wave, the backfill rule that doubles your potatoes, and the honest harvest. Which variety won, which failed, and what to do with the bags when it's over. Because the best part of this whole method is what happens after the harvest. Stay with me now, friend. This one pays for itself. Number 1, the bag doubled. Save your supermarket paper bags, the food contact kind, plain craft paper with water-based inks and biodegradable glues, no plastic coating, nothing that leaches. The bags made to carry food are made safe for food, and what holds your apples can hold your potatoes. But leave the glossy, coated, plastic-feeling ones out of this. Plain brown paper only. And here's the rule that makes or breaks the whole method. Double bag them. One bag alone is too weak. By midsummer, the moisture and the roots will have softened it through, and a single bag will split the very week you go to move it, spilling your whole summer onto the ground at your feet. 2 bags, one inside the other, will stand through hail, heat waves, and harvest day, and hold their shape right up until the moment you tip them out. It costs you nothing but the bags you were already bringing home. Number 2, the fill. Use a good quality potting mix, one that already carries fertilizer and nutrients in it, because a bag is a small world and the potatoes can't send roots out hunting for food beyond its paper walls. What you put in is all they'll ever get. Now here's the part most folks get wrong on their first try. Don't fill the bag to the top. Fill it only half to 3/4 full. There's a double wisdom in that. The seed potatoes need room to sprout and push through that first soil without spending all their strength just reaching daylight. A plant that exhausts itself sprouting is a plant that limps the rest of the season, and you need that empty space above them for the step that comes later, the step that makes the harvest. A bag filled to the brim on day 1 feels thorough. It's actually a ceiling on your yield, and you'll see why in a few minutes. Number 3, the seed potatoes. Lay your seed potatoes right on top of that fill, spaced out evenly. 2 or 3 to a bag, 3 if they're small, 2 if they're large. Don't crowd them. A crowded bag gives you a handful of marbles. And label every bag as you plant it. Write the variety right on the paper. You think you'll remember which is which in June, and friend, you will not. Then backfill just a few inches over the potatoes, a blanket, not a burial, and water them in. Number 4, the stand and the wicking trick. Set your bags up off the ground in full sun. On a bench, a stand, some recycled boards over bricks, whatever you have. Up off the ground, the air moves around them, the drainage stays honest, and the slugs have to work for their supper. And here's the clever part, the piece most folks have never seen. Set each bag in a shallow tray. A paper bag dries out fast, especially in hot weather. The paper breathes, which the roots love, but breathing costs water. And a bag in full sun on a July afternoon can go from moist to bone dry before supper. But a tray underneath holds a little water after each watering, and the bag wicks that moisture back up as the day heats, keeping the plants drinking long after the surface looks dry. It's the poor man's self-watering planter. The same idea the stores sell in plastic for $30, working for free under a paper sack. It turns a bag you must water twice a day into one that forgives you for forgetting. In a hot summer, that tray is the difference between a harvest and a funeral. Number 5, the backfill rule. After about 3 weeks, when the green tops stand 6 inches high and reach the top of the bag, it's time. Add more potting mix around the stems, plus a little compost for good measure, and fill the bag the rest of the way. This is why you left the room. Potatoes don't just grow down, they grow along the buried stem, and every inch of new soil is new space for new potatoes to set. The old-timers did the same thing with hoes in the field, mounding the rows higher as the plants grew. This is just hilling in a bag without the hoe. The folks who skip this step harvest the bottom of the bag and wonder why the yield was thin. The folks who do it harvest the whole column, top to bottom. Number 6, the weight and the weather. Now you tend them like any potato patch. Sun, water, patience, and don't baby them. A proper double-bag sack will stand up to more than you'd think. The grower this method comes from left 14 bags in full sun through a hailstorm and early heat waves, and the bags held, the soil stayed put, and the plants came through. I will tell you the truth though, if a bag does fail, it'll fail at the bottom on a wet week. That's what the doubling is for. Trust the 2 bags. Number 7, the harvest, the honest numbers, and the full circle. When the tops yellow and die back, tip the bag out. And here comes the moment every gardener lives for, reaching into the soil with your bare hands and finding them, one after another, like the ground is handing them over. Now let me give you the honest numbers, because you deserve them. From 14 bags and 3 varieties the grower this method comes from got about 5 kilos, call it 11 pounds, of good eating potatoes. Not a wagon load, and I won't pretend otherwise. A proper row and good ground will beat it. But here's what the numbers don't say. It cost him nothing but seed and mix. The containers were free, the potatoes were clean and unblemished with no fork damage from digging, and the variety test told its own story. The red Pontiacs came out biggest and best, the Sebago steady and consistent bag after bag, and the White Stars the worst of the 3, with a couple rotten in the humidity. Write that down before you plant. Red varieties, in bags, win. Then spread the potatoes on a rack in the sun for half a day and let the skins set and toughen before they go to the pantry or cellar. Skip that curing and they'll wrinkle and spoil in weeks. Do it and they'll eat for weeks as baby potatoes and mash. And now the best part, the full circle. Those spent bags half rotted already, don't trash them. Lay them right into a garden bed, empty the used potting mix over them, and walk away. The paper suppresses the weeds, the worms move in from below, and by next season, it's black gold. Free fill for the bed, free food for the soil, and nobody will ever know there was cardboard under there at all. Groceries to potatoes, potatoes to supper, bag to bed, bed to next year's garden. Nothing leaves the circle. The store sold you the groceries once, and that bag has now worked for you 3 times, carrying, growing, and feeding the ground. That's not a new trick, friend. That's the oldest one there is. My grandmother's oat sack is in a garden bed somewhere behind that house right now, feeding whatever's growing there this year. Now here's where it all comes together, nice and plain. 2 bags nested, good mix half full, 2 or 3 seed potatoes labeled on the paper, trays underneath for the hot days, backfill at 6 inches, sun and patience, then 11 pounds of potatoes, a rack in the sun, and the bags buried in the bed to feed next year's worms. The whole thing costs you nothing you weren't already bringing home from the store. So let me be straight with you about the title, the way I always am. The old Amish way. The supermarket bag is new, and I told you so at the start, but a container that's already paid for, a harvest from what others throw away, and a container that feeds the soil when it's done, that way is older than any of us. The bag just finally caught up to it. And let's do the honest math. A fabric grow bag runs $8 to $12, 14 of them over $100 before you've bought a speck of soil. 14 paper sacks, free because they already carried your groceries home. 11 pounds of potatoes from a porch, a bench, a back step, plus a bed of free compost where the bags went to rest. The store sold you the groceries and the garden center wanted to sell you the bag. Keep the middleman out of it. So here's what I'd have you do this week. Don't buy anything. Save the next 2 paper bags that come through your door, nest one inside the other, and plant 2 seed potatoes in good mix on the back step. 1 bag. By the time the top's yellow, you'll have learned the whole method with your own hands, and you'll never look at a torn bag handled the same way again. And bring the little ones in on it. Let them label the bags and peek at the sprouts. A child who watches a potato come out of a paper sack will never believe food comes from a store again. That's a lesson worth more than the harvest. Now I'd love to hear from you. Tell me down in the comments, what do you throw away that could hold a garden? A sack, a bucket, a crate. Share it with the rest of us. Those old ways slip away when nobody passes them on, and I read everyone. Next time, I'll show you the 3 vegetables you must never feed with the ash from your stove, and why the fire that warms your house can fill your cellar too. It belongs right alongside everything you learned today. Until then, look at that crumpled bag differently. It's not trash, friend. It's a potato patch that just hasn't been planted yet. Waste nothing, plant something, and grow more than you need, so you can share the harvest with the people you love.